now. Do you hear that? They fixing the shelter thing. And I've been waiting this entire time just so they can stop actually. And now for some reason.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
They took everything out from the shelter because they're like, people are starting to freak out because every bomb, television.
To get humanitarian aid into Gaza are complicated by the fact that Hamas continues to use innocent civilians as human shields and is reportedly blocking roads to prevent Palestinians from moving to southern Gaza out of harm's way. We know the humanitarian situation is urgent. We're actively engaged with partners, including Qatar, to get aid to those who need it.
So every missile that I sent right now, the last one, actually the building was shaking. That never happened before. That's crazy. And the entire day you will hear like yesterday, last night, I think it was like midnight. I was like, holy shit! Like they don't put the alarm anymore. And apparently, when in Ashkelon, that's how strong it was.
That is insane.
I'm actually in the room and everything is closed, and I still feel it. And I thought it's right here. And the thing that you see on TV or social media, most of my fans have people that they're still looking for them in whatever this crazy party. I don't know how I don't. And two, it's insane. Like the raping, the pictures are insane. Like the stories, it doesn't make sense that this is how we live. And on top of it, so someone just texted me, oh, but you guys are oppressing or whatever Palestinian the entire time, so it kind of makes sense that it will come at one point. I'm like, are you serious right now? I'm like, you cannot text me something like that while I'm in the middle of that as a female also.
Who would text that to you? It's disgusting.
It's this American white guy that probably never been to anything in his life, and I'm like, and he then kept deleted him, but he kept texting me like explanation about the situation in Israel and Palestine. I was like, do you understand that I actually grew up here? It's like, this is insane. But yeah, this is like crazy.
I don't think that people understand that this isn't a movie. Like, this is real life. This is reality. And like, people don't understand that everyone, like a lot of like Alon's cousins and stuff, all of the husbands, they just got married, they just had kids. Everyone is back in the army. Like, everyone has been recruited back. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like,
They don't get it.
and everyone's like, oh, well, they deserve it. And it's like, if they weren't in charge of Gaza, this is what Israel would be kaput, because they're uncivilized animals. They're not, it's not a government, it's a militia, and they just want to kill, rape, kill. It's not, oh, let's take over this piece of land and make it ours. It's not what it is, and that's what people think it is. And this isn't about Palestine, this is Hamas. There are Palestinians, as with everyone, who are civilized and good people, most of them. But people think that, oh, well, they've been oppressed, so now they're just revolting. No, it's not. This is not Palestine. This is basically a gang group.
That's exactly that, and people really don't understand that. They think, oh, poor, like, obviously they are. Like, I would not want to live in that, and I'm privileged to actually not even living in Ashkelon, actually coming from Tel Aviv when we are very, very protected. But at the same time, like, they actually killed some of their people. Like, doing this craziness, they don't even know because we look like them. So they don't know which one. So my friend, I don't know if you know him, Boris. So he came back to the apartment. I was like, I really like the stories. So apparently his friend, one of those like areas like the Moshav or Kibbutz or whatever over there. So they were armed. I think one of them is in the army or something. So this kid, a 17 years old Arab kid, came and he was like scared as whatever. They took him, like they understood that he's not going to do anything or, you know, attack them or anything like that. He was just like, once they took the fence down, I'm guessing like just other people start like running out of Gaza. So he was like just scared. So they kept him there. Think about how crazy is that? Right now, like this Hamas, whatever, is killing so many of us, then they kept him in the shelter with them until the army came and took him to, I don't know where. But like how it, like that, it's not a real, like that's crazy to me.
Yeah, but you know, not only this time, but other times, even this time, I'm sure, when they shoot rockets, they shoot them in their own villages. They shoot them at their own people. People don't understand. It's so uncivilized. They just want to kill. They think they're going to get 1,000 virgins if they blow themselves up.
Yeah.
Like, in what reality do you live in? Like, that is zero, like they have zero worth of life. They want to die because they have a mental illness, literally, like they've been brainwashed.
Exactly that aren't educated, which is our problem also. And that's what happened. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I have 2 Palestinians with me in the hospital. They're students. And the way they were talking,
have they been there?
So that's why, like, I'm sitting, like, and the attendant is like, okay, so now, like, it's a new attendant and everything. Now, all of you can tell me, like, where you're from, where you went to school. So this guy right next to me, which we were talking before and everything, I just didn't realize that. He was, like, physically touching my chair. And he was like, I'm from Palestine. I did that. I jumped. I'm like, and then later, like, after a week or two, the attendant was talking, like, we became, like, cool. He was like, I saw her. I was like, I'm from Israel. And then, like, in my head, because it's pretty clear, yeah, this, like, both sides, this is not okay, whatever. But first of all, I'm not my government. With all due respect, I'm not the one that's going and killing people. So attacking me about that doesn't make any sense. Sorry, it wasn't here.
Okay.
typical Israeli.
Realities.
So I have two Palestinian, which he was here when he was 9. He's in 25 or something, I'm guessing right now. He's not. He left when he was 9. He's from Chicago. His family is not even here. He said all of us are not there anymore. Well,
why? Of course you're not there because it's horrible.
I'm not gonna even tell. Like, if Israeli kid will come and tell me that he's American, like he has American parents, he's saying Israeli. I'm like, I'm not sure that you haven't been there to own the right to be Israeli. Exactly like him. You haven't been, your parents are Palestinian or whatever you want to call them. You're from Chicago. I've been in Italy and New York, almost more than I've been in Israel. I don't call myself, like, I'm not from New York. I'm Israeli. So
yeah, but you served in the army. You that's where your whole family is.
Right. Exactly. So I'm like, I don't know, like, regardless of the situation, I'm sorry, but saying you're Palestinian when most of your life, like, all you know is actually Chicago or New York or whatever, that's kind of like pushing it, like, to say, because I feel like he knew that I'm Israeli also, so just like to say, oh, I'm Palestinian. I'm like, okay. And then this other kid didn't understand. So he was like, wait, what? I'm like, I'm from the same place, but it's called Israel. So he was like, oh. And to a point, like, I can't believe you don't, like, even know that. But okay.
Americans.
Yeah. So I was shocked by, like, the response that other people had. So I had one Indian kid, but he's from Queens. His family is from India. But I'm like, I respect it because he always come and say, I'm from Queens, but my parents are from India.
Mm.
And another girl from Jersey, white girl, probably never been in Europe even. And so after like a day or two, I'm like, I'm interested to actually know, like, educate me. Where is Palestine? This girl took the computer, showed me on Wikipedia. Where is Palestine? Girl, you are not looking at Wikipedia for medical stuff. What since?
I hope she's not. She's not going to be my doctor.
I'm like, wait, what? And then, like, I don't like talking politics and all that, so I never put myself in a situation like that. I'm also ignorant in a way. I grew up in Tel Aviv. I studied medicine, I've been in medical school and all that. I don't have the time to educate myself like that, so I keep my mouth quiet because I don't want to say stuff that I don't know. But I have my experience. So she's like, yeah, you guys are oppressing them and all that, and it's not okay that you kill them. More Palestinians are dead. I'm like, but do you understand even the meaning of someone that actually putting like needles or whatever on himself and going to a place to bomb himself just to get 72 virgin or whatever, and he wants everyone do you understand the difference? Like, and they just like kept attacking me, and I'm like, yeah, that's not, like, no. I'm not going to continue this discussion because it's been pretty crazy. And I expected from the Palestinian, one of them, the other one was pretty cool. He was like, I get it. Like, he was very, like, he just told me his experience. Because he was like, I'm American. Like, after he said he's Palestinian. Because he barely even know, like, the language or stuff like that, I think, or something. I'm like,
if you can't even at least speak the bare minimum, the language, you can't call yourself that.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is pretty weird. I don't know. I don't remember what it was that he didn't know. I'm like, wait, what? And then I realized that he's not really, like, he haven't been there that much. Like, he go and visit or whatever, just like any, American Jew go and like visit Israel or any tourist.
Birthright or whatever.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm like, this is just
well,
that.
what's so wild about this whole thing with social media, right? Because who knows what's real? Who knows what's like a robot, just a bot making people get riled up? But what I see a lot of that makes me like furious more than anything are the gays, lesbians, trans, LGBT, whatever, pro-Palestine. And I'm like, do you realize that Israel is one of the most gay, bi, whatever, friendly, like, they have a whole pride there. I was there on accident once for their pride parade. It was way bigger than New York's. Like people think, oh, New York, blah, blah. No. Tel Aviv's, their pride parade was insane. And I could not get out of there fast enough because it was complete balagan.
It's in parts.
But if they were to go to Palestine, they wouldn't last a second. They would be stoned, burned. Like, do they?
Ari, you and me right now, with the way we dressed, we would probably get like.
Yeah.
Eventually
Well, and
killed.
so they're saying that they're oppressing themselves. They're not, the women are, everything's just been taken back. They have to be completely covered. Nothing, and I feel like maybe I need to get a Palestinian person on here to tell.
Yes.
I don't really know any. So if you know any, but like,
I do actually.
but that's why it's nuts, is because they are, it's almost like, to an extent, like the BLM stuff with the Black Lives Matter, until like a black person steps up and says, no, use your head, like use your mind, think about this. People are just jumping on these bandwagons and they're like, no, it's so great and it's wonderful and Israel is the worst. And it's like, Israel is saving people. Israel is the one keeping this like in some sort of
Like the most liberal place ever, especially Tel Aviv. And you remind me something about the city. So when I worked for Elal, my first, and it happened to be my first like search on someone was on, I don't know exactly where she's from. She was Arab, like, but I remember that because I was shaking and she was shaking because I'm like, because you're there by yourself, you know, and it's so uncomfortable to do that. And she was like, it's okay. I'm like, you do, and I'm like the one that was like, oh my gosh, she's like, I feel safe when you do that. I'm like, but how? She's like, I know what our countries are going through. I feel safe. I'm like, whoa, this is insane. She was like, I chose to like fly with this airline or whatever. So, and I prepared for that. So it's okay. I'm like, oh wow, this is insane. Like,
it's true though. I never thought of it that way, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to be safe.
Yeah. We have a guy here, and I think there's probably more that he's like, it's like Arab, like I don't know if he's Palestinian because I'm not sure if they can stay here, but he's here because my city, like my area especially, it's very gay, loving or whatever, and he's here because you know that if he'll go anywhere else, so if he actually most of the time like hiding in those areas, because he's not, there's no way he'll be alive, you know, he's the whole vibe of like, you'll see him, you know he's gay. He doesn't have a way to hide it. He knows he's not going to survive anywhere else. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Like, I don't know, Israel will never look like that if it wasn't owned by Israelis. No way. Yeah. There's no way it would be so liberal. So it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of sad to see other people, especially when you know they're like, some of them are your friends and whatever, and just saying stuff like that, just like having excuses for why female, regardless of the situation, like why females, it's okay to rape them. Why it's okay like to torture kids,
babies, beheading babies, stealing grandmas. Like, why? When did war become about civilians? It's not. This isn't a war. This is just terrorists, a gang, animals, just trying to kill Jewish people. Period. If you're Jewish, you're dead.
Yeah. When is that, like, since when is that okay? Like, I don't understand. In what war is that okay? Why? Because we are so strong. Everywhere we go, we become like successful. So it makes it okay to like torture us like that. This is not a war like between two armies or whatever. And they saying, oh, but they don't, like, that's what they told me in my like presidency. It was like, yeah, but they don't have a real army. It seems like their army is a little bit stronger than the 18 years old kids that's going to our army. And they were like, oh, but you get so much money from my tax, whatever. And I'm like, well, one, they get a lot of money from Europe too. So don't.
Biden just sent them $6 billion on accident.
That's insane.
It's
Yeah, they have
amazing.
so many Arab countries supporting them,
Yeah.
and Europe.
Well, that's what I was just saying. It's so scary to think because Israel is in such a vulnerable place that the U.S. isn't going to put troops down. They're sending that big battleship, the Gerald R. Ford. It's the biggest military ship, but they're not actually putting soldiers on the ground. So even though Israel is strong and, you know, the best or one of the best military systems, like one of our friends, I don't know if you know them, the husband was recruited back in the military. He's probably like 34, so like right in the age, like right before, maybe 30, he might be 31, like younger than us. And he said that there were 17 guys, all recruited back. No one had guns, no one had Kevlar, and they literally just they were just like, we don't have anything. Like they have too many people and not enough supplies.
Yeah.
And so they basically did a fundraiser for $10,000 and they got it in a second. And they got, I guess, 17 like Kevlars, like the protective armor and the guns. And that was it. But it's crazy to think that they just have bodies. Like, what are these bodies going to do? The other thing that I'm like, just baffles me because we have guns, right? Like we have a lot of guns. Alon just got his pistol permit. Like in New York, it's a totally different thing to have handguns versus like ARs and stuff. But what I don't understand is in Israel why civilians aren't allowed to have it. Like you have it in the military, everyone learns how to use it. Everyone, like it doesn't make sense. So I'm like, so your parents are just there with their kitchen knives? Like,
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
It's insane.
It's exactly that. And what you're saying about that, it's so true. So I'm a member in a group of like only female doctors in Israel, and how all the posts will be about either if you know this and that person, she was in in that party and everything, and then my husband was recruited, and he doesn't have like enough either the vest or anything like that. If you have that or anything or food. Which Israel is like, it's so like emotional actually to see that everyone, because we're not at, we're safe-ish. So what they do, they just like open a few places to send like food that go, like my sister went to Nataly or something like areas even like that to, just give them food. Because some stuff gonna start also in there, which it's crazy to see, but you'll see too. Oh shit, how do you say helicoptering?
Helicopters.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So you see like it started with like one or two, whatever, going around, but then yesterday you just kept seeing like two each time just going that way. Which I'm like, and something is starting there, obviously. So they don't have enough food. They don't have enough weapon even. And it makes sense because all of us want to help and everything, but they weren't prepared for that, obviously.
There's no, I mean, on one hand, there were all these different, I don't know what you guys, because the news is so different here versus what you guys are playing, right? So we have the Israeli channel on and we have Fox on, CNN, but not everyone has the Israeli channel to see what's actually happening. I don't remember what I was going to say, but it's like
situation. They don't see the same thing.
Yeah, no, what we're seeing versus what you guys are seeing is completely different. There are a lot of videos that are like circulating, a lot of stuff from the party that was happening, the big festival, the people being kidnapped, the people just being gunned down. But I don't know. I think that people are just wondering, like.
So my friend is actually in Italy right now, and I asked her, and she said, so in the evening, they show the whole thing, but as for like the small, like videos they showed yesterday, I think, that how many Palestinians died. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, wait a second. They didn't show anything about like how many like Israeli died and the way. It's not even about how many Israeli died, it's about the way they died and all that. Because in war, you always have, obviously, you're going to lose people, but the way they die, that's what should shock everyone.
Well, not only that, but who's dying? Israelis, the people that are dying in Israel are baby, infants. Literally, I saw a video that they were threatening, they beheaded an infant, and then they're starting to threaten, they're going to start showing audio and videos of they're going to kill everyone, all the civilians, and they're going to broadcast it. Yeah. Old people, grandmas, grandpas, great-grandmas, great-grandpas, people who aren't militia, people who aren't military, people who are just literally caught in the crossfire. Yeah. And with them, it's like they have freedom fighters, which obviously is not what they are. They're mentally ill people.
This is not a country. This is not for God. This is not for anything. That's actually exactly what you're saying. This is mentally ill people, uneducated, that think that it's okay to rape females and say it's for Allah, God knows what. This is no. I don't think that we, like any human being, I'm pretty sure even on their side, see that and think it's okay. Besides, obviously, whatever. But I really hope, honestly, like going back and like not hearing them, like in my residency saying, well, you oppress them so much, so it's okay to rape. Some of them are Americans, so is that okay as well? They're not even part of that.
I just don't understand. And I think that obviously you and I are pretty like aligned in our views. Like if I don't know about something, I'm not going to talk about it.
Exactly.
I'm not going to just spew nonsense because I want to put my words out. Like, and even on the Palestinian side, like I've watched videos, I've looked into it, I've dug deep, like their people are oppressed. Like maybe the women don't know anything else. Maybe the women just know they have to be all covered up and they can't wear shorts and the temperatures are 115 degrees. That's what they know and that's fine. But like, I can't imagine that they're just living a life in fear. Their husbands beat the shit out of them and that's okay. No.
It doesn't make sense. Like even when we are there, I saw this video of like, I think a Palestinian person that they showed how like Israeli soldier just like protect. And it's true because show me an Israeli guy that won't protect the kid. Like it's just like not part of our nature, to be honest. And on top of that, the first time that an Israeli soldier will ever touch a female, regardless to where she's from, Palestinian, whatever, like that, he will be in jail the next second. By his unit, by anyone else. Like, there's no way that will happen. No way. We put our people in jail for way less than that. So that's just human beings don't act like that. Like people with actual emotion, people not mentally ill, don't act like that for any cause.
I guess that's the difference of having a civilized military. These are the rules, and the IDF plays by rules. We're in war, and this is what you do. There are civilians, old people, babies, whatever. That's not our target, right? But because they're uncivilized barbarians, there's no rules. It's go all out, no holds bar.
Yeah.
Whoever you can get your hands on, you hurt them.
Yeah, and that's insane. So my niece was actually supposed to be recruited for the soldiers that actually. So what they did is the first thing, because there's people like soldiers that look at them the whole time. If they move, like on the fence or whatever, move, they'll do something about that. But what they did, they killed all of them. And that's what my niece, which is sitting right here, was supposed to do that, but she didn't want to join the army, so she's doing something else. And I was the one that was like, no way, you have to join the army, and you have to do that. It's a great job and everything. And she was like, I'm not doing it. No, it's not going to happen. And she was actually supposed to be there right now. No joke. If my niece was there right now, there would be 2 people die in my family. Like my sister will kill me just for that. That's it. That's like just thinking about it. I'm like, this is insane. That I promote it, they're like, yeah, go, and I'm just standing where we send our family, our kids, or whatever to. That's just insane.
Well, the thought and what I've heard from a lot of like older Israelis is like, well, hopefully by the time I have grandkids that we won't need to serve. But the reality is like, it's never going to end. It's always, it's a constant war zone.
It's getting worse. It got better when we first had the Iron Dome, and then it's getting worse. Like when I was a kid, and I understood it. So Moshe was here with all our other friends and everything. 2 of them were from Nataly, Moshe Herzliya and all that. And I never understood it until a few days ago. That because when I grew up, age-wise, like, so the other people are younger than me, like 10 years, and everything. They, when I grew up, every other day, there was like a bus,
A blow up.
Yeah. Like the building next to us, the mall. It was like the 18 kids that died in a club that's from the school nearby. It was like a everyday thing. And as sad as it sounds, today there was like whatever attack, and 2 days from now we're gonna go back to life, And that was our reality. So, and you don't understand that until you see something else. When I went to, like, lived in New York or whatever, I went back here. But you also don't understand that people right now don't live like that. So their fear is a little bit different. So I would be the only one that actually left the house because they live right here when they stayed right here. So I'll go get them like food and just be with them, and all of them stayed in the house the whole time. And then it hit me that in 10 years ago, like the 10-year difference that we have made such a big difference because, yeah, they had obviously bomb attack and all that, but that was not like a day-to-day. So it means that at some point it did get better, but now I think it's going to be really bad. I don't know how this is going to end. I felt like, yesterday we didn't have like as many alarm, whatever, but today it was rough. So I don't know where we're going from here, to be honest, to each like side in a way.
We were talking about that the other day, me and Alone, because since this is the biggest massacre, basically since the Holocaust,
right,
that this is essentially what 9/11 was. And to some extent, this is bigger because if you look at the percentage per person, there's a lot more deaths compared to what 9/11 was, right? Like, yeah, it happened in New York. Yes, it's a huge deal. Like, there's no downplaying it. But this is just racism at its finest. Like, there's no, and I think that something that you probably would be able to talk about, that you'd be able to explain much better than I could, is the racism that does exist. Because a lot of people here that say like, oh, well, you don't understand, you're not Black. I don't have to be Black to not understand. I'm Jewish. That's enough.
Yes.
Like,
I believe you're saying that right now.
But it's a huge thing because we live in New York, and New York has a lot of people, but a lot of ignorant people, and they don't understand. Like, this is not a land war. This is a racism war. This is, you are not me, and that's it. You're dead. It's okay.
אתה יכול לקחת אותו. לא, זה לא זה אבל, זה שלי. זה שלך? אתה יכול לקחת אותו. זה בכלל לא זה. It's crazy that you're saying that. So when I was in New York last week, or in my resume, it started with that. So, and it's gonna sound so ignorant and stupid, but it's exactly because what you said right now, and also because like where my grandparents came from, I guess. So they were like, yeah, because you're white, and I was like, wait, what? I was like, no, I'm not even trying, because we joke and everything. And, we just also did the application for, like, residency, like, the second year. So you need to put, like, your, white, black, Hispanic, whatever. And I'm like, but I'm not here. I needed others.
Racism, where am I?
I was like, who am I? I have, like, identity crisis from all those papers. So I'm like, hold on. What do you mean I'm white? He's like, yeah, you what? I'm like, I'm not white. I ask other people too, actually. I'm like, first of all, let's start with the fact that I'm half Moroccan and Spanish, Spain, whatever. So in Israel even, I wasn't, I'm not the typical white. And on top of that, Poland, like Hitler didn't think my grandma was white, even the most white. So I think I never had that identity of like, I'm a white. I never thought about it, to be honest. Like I never, and it just means that I might be actually white because I never had to worry about it. And I was lucky enough to not look white enough or not look black enough. So in New York, I never, they don't know where to put me.
Mm-hmm.
So I never experienced like some of my friends experienced like, oh, you Jew or whatever, because they look so Jewish, like on the way to even work or stuff like that, which I never. But yeah, like you can't like, I'm Jewish, I'm always gonna be, someone always gonna hate me, So, and I'm from so many countries, all of us, like all Israeli are from so many places that someone always gonna hate us, like, and not gonna like us in any country that I moved through. I've been living in 3 different countries. I was never American. Then when I came back to Israel, I was never the Israeli that I left, and I'm definitely not Italian. So I was always like, what am I? Like I'm not the typical, So that's so true. And I never understood that until I moved to Utica, because New York is so diverse and everything, and I'm obviously surrounded myself with people that, from all over the world or whatever, and they're open-minded. But then because I think they've never been outside of Utica or whatever, that I'm like, whoa, that's pretty intense. Like I never knew that some people actually think like that. Like they put you in labels and they're like, they judge you by that. And I'm like, this is different for sure.
I think the other thing that people don't understand within being Jewish, the Ashkenazi versus Sephardic, they have their own thing. And I think it would probably be the difference of like light skin black versus dark skin black, or I don't know. It's like the weirdest thing because people don't understand that like even within our own tribe, essentially, there's still racism that happens. So it's like, I just don't understand how people can like I don't know, the whole thing. It just.
Yeah. I remember Sam actually asked me one time. He came to the airport and he saw me. He was like, "So what are you?" And I told him I'm half Sephardian, half Ashkenaz, and he was like, "Oh, there was a mishmash over there." And I'm like, I can't believe that someone will actually, because it's such a different generation. And I'm like, whoa, really? But I'm like, okay, I guess yes.
I think it's true. Like when the different Spanish, when they mix, because they're very like, Puerto Ricans stay together, Dominicans stay together, Mexicans, like they do mix, but then when they do, it's like, oh.
That's true. Yeah. We don't think about it, stuff like that, because we're born into a different like reality in a way. But some people, if you think about it, it wasn't allowed for him, like during his generation, it wasn't normal.
Well, probably very like taboo.
Yeah.
Okay. So the point of this was for your medical stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's just that I can't, like, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh my God, like, I feel very emotional, obviously, about my, like, the way I did my medical stuff, but I'm like, how am I going to bring myself to talk about, like, having that emotion about that when, and especially today, because it was so intense. Like, I never had, like, the building actually move, and one after another. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting.
So we can do it another time when things are more calm. But obviously you're there, you're in Israel, so I'm more than happy to talk about this. I have a girlfriend I think I'm going to talk with later about her because they have like a 1-year-old and her husband just got pulled back into the military.
Where is she?
She's in Herzliya.
Herzliya?
Yeah.
Does she need anything?
I don't think so. I think she said that they were basically in the shelter for, I think, over like close to 72 hours is what they were told. And and I just can't imagine with a little one, when you have a little, like if the kid is 10 or 12 or maybe 8, but like a 1-year-old, like it's because they just want to move and walk around and, they cry. Like, so she posted a video of her taking her to the playground, and she said that her daughter was just so happy to be able to walk around and move, and like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, you said it in the beginning, and it's so true that people just are forgetting that we're all people. Like,
I'm not my government.
Yeah.
I'm just a citizen. I'm just a female that's going through that. And people don't understand that because we are so strong, usually. So we don't show that part as well. Like this Palestinian kid, the second we met, he just like act like a victim the whole freaking time. And I was like, how are you gonna act like a victim? You went to medical school in the US, like you were fully American in Chicago, whatever. You worked in he was supposed to rent me a car. So how are you gonna be that like, the victim here? But I refuse to actually be a victim in all that, even when stuff like that happens. But in a way, we are doing such a bad job in explaining how things, and obviously the TV, like media is doing a worse job, but we are also doing such a bad job in explaining the real situation and everything, which is sad. Because we also are so used to it, so we just move on. But after seeing him, and like he went so strong on like, oh, you took my father house and stuff like that. I'm like, let's start with the fact that I didn't take anything.
You're like, I'm the same age as you.
Yeah, did not take anything.
I've been in medical school for more than half my life.
So let's start there. So relax a little bit. And also I posted on my Instagram. I'm like, that's why, because I'm like, every time they said Palestine or whatever, I'm like, and I'm like, this is exactly why it bothers me when you say Palestine as for like, you call Israel Palestine, because we both know, and I told him that, we both know that for Israel to be Palestine, my family need to be dead. Because you do not know how to live with us in peace, and all you want is just like to actually kill us. So it was like, yeah, whatever, and just like dismiss me. But and that was before this craziness happened, but it just proved what I said a few weeks ago, which is insane.
Where's your family from?
Tel Aviv, like.
No, before that.
Spain. The grandfather is from Spain.
No, for some reason I thought you were Afghanistan.
No, Spain and Morocco. Like my father's side is from Morocco. My grandfather is from Spain, and my grandmother is from Poland.
Where's Kube from?
Oh, I do not know. That's from the neighbors. It's so weird, right? I know. That's Iraqi.
Yeah, I thought you were Iraqi for some reason.
No, oh my God, I never thought about it. No. So my aunt actually live in a building where they have a lot of things. You should just learn how to like make that. I never thought about that.
I was like, oh, I think Nataly's probably Iraqi. I thought you were Iraqi.
Yeah, that's so funny. No. I'll take that. They make such a great food, but yeah.
Oh my God, it's so good. Well, I think that most people also, and obviously, like part of this, us talking is to educate people. Like, you grew up there, you're from there, and you could speak more than I could. But like, Israel houses refugees from all over, Syrian, Lebanese, like, they don't have to be Jewish for them to come and have like a safe space.
Oh, absolutely. So I think she's here, maybe not. Like my sister kid, she, like, I don't know, say like, she cooked for them and everything. She's from, not Sudan, Eritrea. They walked here for like, to find like a safe place. Her kid is 9 and she was born here.
Wow.
You think Israel is only about, like, she's scared. Like, she was talking to her daughter. Daughter started crying because all you hear is like this craziness. And she was like, and she's here. My sister was like, just bring her here. Like, why you have to stay over there? Like, this. She was like, no, she's with her father. But how crazy is that? Yeah. Hold on. But how crazy is that? They're not even from here. She's been living here for 17 years.
Wow.
Whole family with kids and everything. And yeah, people don't get that. This place is not only Jewish, Israeli, whatever. Yeah. So if you like take like 10 people out of the street right now, most of them probably won't be from like Jewish. And
Well, they probably won't be from, I mean, very few people are from Israel, right? Israel's 75 or 79? Like, it's young.
Yeah.
I think it's 75. It's very young. So for someone to be from there is like someone to be from New York. Like, most people aren't born and raised there. Some, fine. But like, so many people are migrants and they were seeking asylum. They were seeking a safe place. They were seeking.
Yeah,
I don't think that people understand that.
My grandparents, none of them, I think, was born in Israel. Definitely the Moroccan one was born in Morocco. Poland was there because I think she went to the Holocaust, but we didn't really talk about it. But the way she was acted, and Spain for sure. So none of them actually was born here. And it's now like, I'm not that old. All due respect, like, so, like, and people don't get that.
Well, and then the other thing I think that is probably discussion that people don't understand is why Israel has to have a military, like why Israel has to have a defense force. Because for some reason, and there's people who still to this day don't believe that the Holocaust happened. There are people who say, yeah, that didn't happen. That was a whole hoax. And it's like,
They'll see that some people are still alive.
yeah.
They'll hear stories and they'll see everything. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, people are crazy.
No, that's insane. That's insane. And we need an army because otherwise, whatever happened today will be erased by like in a week if we didn't have an army. If we weren't so prepared for everything, why? Because this is our mentality. This was like we are everyone here. Like you need to protect yourself in a way, the way we are raised and everything. But if we didn't have that, we'll be erased in a week.
I remember what I was going to say earlier about the news. So there was something published saying that one of the Egyptian, someone on their board gave notice to someone within the Israeli government, like the defense force, wherever, that there's going to be an attack in 10 days. And it was right around this time, and apparently they just disregarded it because they didn't think it was.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy because the way it happened doesn't make sense to any of us. The fact that we have so much, like, I don't know, like, just like people say, we oppress them and we control everything. We know a lot. The government know a lot about Israelis as well. It's not only like Palestinian.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how it happened. How can like a whole fence or how like a 10 army girl are dead without even like say like warning anyone or whatever? That doesn't make any sense. or this thing to go down, and then the area around not to be protected. I think that we just weren't ready because we thought they will never do that. In a way, if you think about it, you would never, you know they can do crazy stuff, but not like that. Not to civilian, not in a party. Like to a soldier, definitely. But to just like, not even from Israel, you would never think that there's no way. So that's why I guess we weren't protected, ready for that. Which is, that's on us. But I think that because of that, it's not going to be better for any of us, that's for sure. For their side, I'm pretty sure it's going to be worse, which sucks. And for us, if they got to a point that they do that, they're ready to do everything. Like they're all the way. So yeah, it's not going to get better, that's for sure.
Well, I was thinking about it, and it feels like how with 9/11, nothing was the same after, right? Like flying, guns, like so many things. It's just not the same. It will never be the same. And I feel like the Israel, because we were just there for a month. We were there 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Like we were just there, and we were there for a long time. It's never going to be that same place.
Right.
And like when we've been there, we've like, even when I was there for Birthright, we were, you go like through, on a, like, it's basically take a bus all throughout, like from north to south or whatever. And I remember we were in Spot, and the next day it was just flattened, completely blown up. And I remember thinking, wow, that's so scary. But like, even now, having been there, because, that's where Alon's family is, like, he's been there multiple times where there's rockets flying through the sky. And like, they were supposed to be there this weekend because they were going to come to Dora's wedding. Like his mom said, bring Axel. And I was like, my mom's coming, don't bring her, because I had the race. So I said, my mom's going to be with Liv. If you want to go, go, but don't take Axel. And they didn't end up going anyhow because we were just there. So he was like, it just doesn't make sense. So like, I just can't imagine.
Yeah, that will be crazy. And also, I think that it's really different to be like, we are used to whatever missiles that they send and whatever, all those stuff. But actually knowing that someone is looking at you and killing you, have the capability to actually do that. Sending a rocket from like your house or whatever you are right now, it's so different than actually you are capable to look at someone in the eye, rape them, and actually kill them after. That's just like me walking in the street. If I was half like, cautious when I pass by our Palestinian person or whatever, now I'm like, holy shit, this is insane. This is not just like, oh, some of them are just sitting, pressing, whatever. There's missiles. They know the Iron Dome will protect most of us, so it's okay. Which is crazy reality to even live in. But now that I know this, some of them are actually capable to look me in the eye, rape me, and then kill me, that's a whole different story.
Not that, and also people who are completely helpless. Right. Babies who can't even walk. Old people who can't even walk. Like, literally, they have they can't fight back at all.
Yeah.
And they can kill them.
Yeah, that's insane. That's not a that.
Like, they've been brainwashed to the fullest extent.
I don't know how you do that to so many people. Like, you raise them like that. That's insane. And it's crazy, because even my nephew the other day, I was thinking about it because I'm like, this is how we raise our kids and how they raise our kid, apparently. So he said something about, like, he's 17, he's going to join the army next year. And he was like, oh, I want to be in this place where you hit, like, arm. And I'm like, hold on, relax. Because some of them, and we know because the people that build this house, whatever, are first of all, not all of them are Palestinian. They are Israeli, just like you and I. Start with that. And there's one thing to attack whatever are a terror, like whatever Hamas and all that, and a whole different, whatever you're saying right now, this is not right. So, all that. I'm like, yeah, like, so relax with all that craziness that you want to go to the army just so you can. So he's like, okay, but like no one was like okay with that, you know. And he lives in, and obviously they live in a way more, especially for us, like in Tel Aviv, as opposed to if I was in Ashkelon or whatever, it would be different. But still, there's no way that one of us will say something like that. He doesn't understand, like he's a kid, but we'll put him in place, like. And obviously, that's not what's happening on the other side, because if they are okay with doing whatever they're doing, it's something that has to be, since you're a kid, just like with hating you the whole time, to think that it's okay to do that.
Yeah, they're just brainwashed from day one.
Right.
What else is going on over there?
So right now it's better. During the day it was bad. I haven't seen the news for a while because I'm like, I can't watch those videos anymore.
Yeah, I can't. I'm like thinking about it, and we have it out in the garage. And even when I just go change laundry, I'm like, God, I can't. It's just so.
Yeah, like I think for the rest of my life, I'll have that video of this girl that she's naked, full of blood, and just like they killed her eventually, but they raped her before and killed her. She's not even Israeli; she's from Germany or whatever. And there's so many like pictures like that, and I'm like, that's gonna stay for the rest of my life probably. Thinking like knowing that people are capable to do stuff like that. Like that every male that I'm passing, thinking, your gender is capable of doing stuff like that. So that's pretty. It'll take some time for people here to
digest.
Yeah, exactly.
What's wild about it is she's from Germany. They probably thought she was Israeli or Jewish. Maybe she was Jewish.
No, she wasn't even Jewish, I think. My friend, I'm not sure if I said it before. My friend is from Germany, and he posted on his Instagram. He's in Germany right now, but he lived here for like 4 years. It was like every time that someone came from Germany to Israel, I took people. He is going to all those parties. I took people to these parties. Do you think that they checked people's passports when they was taking them and all that? They didn't. So they didn't care where you're from. We could have been in this party, German, not Jewish. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How's everyone with you? Everyone's okay?
Yeah, my niece, I think, was kind of taking it the hardest. Like she was the first time, well, the second day, like the alarm went on. So you hear so many stories that when you go to the shelter, not every house here have a shelter or whatever. When you go to a shelter, they catch you there. And then whatever. And we had 4 terrorists in our area that they found during the day. And then in the evening, we had the alarm, and my sister wasn't here. She took the dog out. So she was about to leave the house. I'm like, hold on, you're not going anywhere. Come inside. We'll just stand here. Because I'm like, I'm not taking. There's no way it's happening. Like, I'm going down because the basement, the shelter is in the basement, and we live in a 6th floor. So I'm like, you're not going anywhere. Like the building is pretty open, so other people can come to the shelter, but I'm not going to risk of like actually going to the shelter and someone is catching us with them. So I'm like, we're staying here. She's like, no, but it's dangerous and all that. So I think like she's the only one that actually, which most of them are just like the boys are just kind of not showing it. But you see like. It's not regular. You can feel it. Not like every time, because we've been through stuff like that. Last year when I was here, it was like regular. I would go to the beach. Wow. Like seriously, and no joke, this is a real. This is what I got. So I was already awake. I wanted to go and play volleyball. They started at 6:30. I didn't wake up like to actually be outside of 6, but then I'm like, my second day in Israel. Like, I thought everything is cool here. So I'm like, wait, what? Really? Like, okay, whatever. My sister, like, I went to take a shower. My sister, like, perfect. So, like, relax. Like, we go to that. Like, last year was regular. So she was like, okay. I went to play volleyball. They took the net down. That's when I'm like, yeah, this is not regular. It never happened. Never. The city never takes the nets down. They waited until I think we finished like a few minutes, and then they took them out. I'm like, this is not good. Then again and again, like it kept going. Or like yeah, and then I came back and I saw like yeah, this gonna be here for like it's gonna be intense, more intense than regular.
What's going on with the flights? Are people allowed to leave? They're taking tourists out?
Yeah. So the airport is working. And as far as I understood, actually, like didn't stop the operation. I came here with American Airline. I got like a few days ago. They canceled the operation or whatever, and then they just canceled my flight. They suspended the operation, and then a day after they just canceled the flights. So I was supposed to fly on the 14th, and now the nearest flight was is in the 18th, which is like more than a week. What is it? 10
Yeah,
to
today's the
18.
10th.
Yeah. That's, yeah. So, but like Moshe and everyone, they took a flight to, but I think he's still in the airport since the morning.
I think they're just trying to bomb the airport.
Yeah. So I heard something like that. I saw it on TV that they sent some missile, whatever, to the airport, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to say. But yeah, but everything is delayed right now, so I'm guessing it's because of that. There's some warning for that. But everything is working. They're trying to get people out of here and people in here, obviously, like doctors and all that. They send, I think in Europe, they send a private plane or something because a lot of the doctors were in like this conference somewhere, so they brought like a private plane to just bring them back. You can definitely take like not a direct flight, but Moshe even told me, and usually, we go to the airport like an hour maybe before. He was like, just like go there like at least 3 hours before, because it's pretty crazy.
Wow.
And yeah, they send me, they're like, the airport right now is insane.
I didn't know, but Alon said that basically the goal is in this kind of war, like if you hit an airport, it's like a big, like.
Oh, that would be the end of us. That would be crazy. Yeah. That would not, like, I'm so glad that Israel is not stopping everything, but if you think about it, that would be the perfect thing to just bomb Israeli air, like, that's such a gift for them,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it didn't happen until now, but yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I think I don't know if it's true, but I thought I heard at one point that El Al airplanes have like deflectors, rocket deflectors on them or something.
Really? It makes sense that they will.
Only El Al, obviously.
Yeah. Because most of the other airline, like they're even like when I worked in an airport, like flying to Israel or whatever, seeing other airline, they don't really believe in that something can happen,
Mm-hmm.
which is so stupid because it will be so good to bomb plane that going to Israel and an American, like that's the biggest thing.
It's like the ultimate win.
Exactly. So the fact that they actually don't like believe this stuff can happen. And they don't question everyone, and they don't, like, you see the luggage in the airport, like, it's just insane.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we'll see. I feel like they have a bigger plan, to be honest. I don't think that's where it's gonna end. But if they planned all that, and it was very planned, so they probably have a bigger. But we're gonna be surprised again. I'm hoping not, but I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
So this is day 2 or day 3? It's Monday.
No,
so
day 4 started on the 7th.
Oh, it
Yeah.
did?
Yeah. The 6:30 a.m. that was on October 7th.
The festival.
Yeah.
Well, so I saw on the news right before we got on that they shut down the water supply in the Gaza Strip. So hopefully that will, and they were telling them, I think yesterday, to evacuate because they wanted to try to flatten it.
Yeah.
But there's so many civilian, and I think this is also the other thing that people don't realize, like, it'd be very easy for Israel just to drop a few bombs on the Gaza Strip and be done. But they're not, because they're a civilized government. Like, they're not trying to kill civilians. They're trying to kill the terror organizations, Hamas, and all the other stupid things.
Do you think that if this thing happened in the US or happened in any other country in the world, or if it was the other way around, that Gaza will even be existed right now? Hell no. The same day, they will raise it. Seriously. We are the only country, I think, that are so like thinking, oh, we have, like, they actually at the same time had the time, like, while they I don't know if it was like a terror place or whatever, you know, like they send bombs from there or whatever. The same time, they're like sending civilian texts to evacuate the building and everything. While this craziness is happening, it would never happen in any other country. Russia, imagine Russia or any other place, please, they will not care about any civilians in a building.
I think that that's the other thing that I just don't understand, is why Palestinians wouldn't say, we're not Hamas, that's not us. But instead they're saying, yeah, go. And it's like, so you're a terror organization? You're like, it's not any different than ISIS or any of that crap.
Yeah, that's what got me so sad, I think, and I was shocked, because that's the first time I experienced that as like my residency. He's like, you know, he's American. And the hate, so much hate. I was like, whoa, I can't believe like we're talking like that. That's insane. Or being last year, I was in Jaffa for like a month, and everything happened. And all the Arab there, which I don't think they're even Palestinian, just like Arab Israelis, they were like partying. I'm like, what are you partying for? We had me and you right now are at the same physical place. If I'm dead, you'll be dead too. What are you so like dancing right now? Like, it's a person that I buy whatever from him, like Abulafia.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious? Like, how is this is a normal reality for you? Like,
how is it that's what they want? Like, their home is gone.
right.
Like, it doesn't make, like, I think people are just forgetting that we're all people.
Yeah.
Like, the terrorists, fine. Terrors are bad. Terror, like, bad. But, like, civilians are people.
Right. Even soldiers, you know what? It's like those two even.
Yeah.
Like soldiers, whatever, it's the army. But I think because most of us have to go to the army, so they think of us as like army all the time, which is so not true. One, some of us don't do, you know, the stuff that because we are a country that all of us go to the army. Some of us don't do crazy stuff.
Well, most don't.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a very, very few that do crazy stuff.
Exactly. And also, when it wasn't my choice. You think that it's my choice that my niece will go to the army? My nephew will go to the army? Hell no. None of us want to do that. But we know that we have to do that and that's what I told my niece. So if you're not going to go to the army, a lot of doors will be closed. Like, you're not going to be able to work for a while. You're not even in Israel, outside of Israel. You're not going to be able to work in a lot of places. And I don't want that future for her. So yeah, I want her to go to the army. But we are technically forced to do that because we want a normal future.
Well, that's the only way that they see Jews to live. Like, that's the only way that they see Jews can be safe, because they don't want they're basically protecting themselves from the Holocaust happening again.
Right. That's true.
I mean, I don't know. That's my guess.
Yeah, we have to. I understand that we have to do that. You know, it's not like I'm against why did you do that to me or whatever. I understand why. I get it. But still, it's not something that I'm like, without all this craziness, be like, let's go to the army and fight other people. Like, I'm 2 years of my life when.
Yeah. You have better things you want to do.
Exactly. Could have become a doctor way before. So definitely not. And they think that, because I was in the army and I held whatever weapon for 2.5 seconds, not even, that I'm a soldier for life. No, I'm definitely not. And it wasn't my choice. I'll do that definitely because I want. This is the only way we have to protect our country in a way. But still, that's insane.
It's nuts. Anything else we want to share?
The last thing is that, and I think it's kind of related enough, that this German friend of mine, it was like, we promised them never again, and somehow it's happening again. And I relate to that so much. Like, it was so beautiful that he actually did that. So yeah.